Hi, everyone. I created a little program using C++ and Python. This program is going to calculate the SH-256, and it's also going to have the hex of the file as well, but it's going to print the hex of the file out into an image. So I have the function to compute. My mouse disappeared. As you can see, I have the function to compute the SHH. I also have um, I have a string here that is going to compute it, and I want to make sure that I tell you I had to download crypto, and I also had to download higher file hasher to get the hex and the hash. So the function we're here to compute as a hash file. This is the crypto here, and then we have the string value. I have open the file in a binary mode, and then it returns the file and passes on. If it can't open, it will give you error opening file. It's going to read the file in chunks and hash it. We're going to do a finalize hash and convert it into from the crypto, we're going to do that into the digest size and a hash final. And then we have down here, which is the crypto hex encoder, and it's going to look at the crypto and it's going to cause it to print out the hex once we get the hex going. I'll show you that. The function to create a text image. So this hex encoder is actually going to be the hex of the file. So we create a text image initialized in Python. We check if Python is installed successfully. There are different versions, and so you have to make sure that you know what your version is and make sure you get that downloaded correctly. And this will read the version that you have and make sure it's all installed. PyRun. This checks if the Python script is executed successfully. It will tell you if it's generated successfully or if it created an error while it was generating. We're going to finalize the interpreter. We're going to make it so that the error is initializing the Python interpreter. It's going to tell you why it can't. If there is an error, it's going to tell you why there is an error there. And then here's my main. So step one, we're going to accept the file as an input. So I have file path here, which means that you got to put in the file path, and I'll show you that when I go to run that, of what the file path I have set for it. And then step two, we use the stat function to retrieve file attributes. What this file attribute is here is we're going to have the file size. We're going to have the file size, and we're going to have the mode. And I'll explain what the mode and the file type and size is for you. And then it's going to check if it's a regular file. There's different types of files, but it's going to check to see if it's a different file. And then three, it will initialize the limit library. And you have to have the limit library downloaded into your Linux system. If not, it's not going to pull. And you can get that off of GitHub. It's real easy. And then we're going to go down here, and then it's going to do a magic load cookie. It's going to identify the file type, what the type of file it is. And then it's going to give you, if it can't identify, it's going to give you an error identifying the file type. Or it's going to say it's error loading magic database. Step 5 is to compute and display the SH256 hash, the string hash here. So I have all that. Step 6 will generate a text image. Again, this text image is going to be of the hex. That's what the text image is going to turn out to be, is the file hex. And then 7, I have cleanup and release resources, such as the magic cookies. And then I have in program. And this is going to give you an error input is a directory, or directories are not supported, error unsupported file type, or error accessing the file attributes. And this is if you mistype or you do anything within your code, it's going to cause that to pull in these errors. So I have a lot of checks in here as well. In my generate image text, so here's where we generate the image, the file path. It calls the image, it scripts the file path, and then Python 3 is what I have installed. That's what I said it before in your in the C++, you have to know what Python you have installed. There's different versions of it. And then again, it's going to call the text image, and it's going to do the file path. You have to put in the file path name. And then if name main, and then this gives you here the usage is Python 3 generate text image. Again, you have to have that. You have to have the path. And then in this case, I have infected text. I can also run it on my on just my final, and it will pull in it. This right here doesn't mean too much. It just prints what it is. And then you have your system exit, and then you have your file, and you have your generate your path. And then on your text image, you have your function to create a text image with the given text. So here we have the defined size, the image width, the image height, the background color. Then we create a new image with a white background. And then we load font, and then we replace the font with the actual path of your file. We define the position and text color. We draw on the text image. We save the image to the specified path, and the path that I have it saved to is the same path that I have the document in, which is in my documents. Function to calculate the SH256 hash of a file. And we have what reads in 64-bit or 54K chunks, and we break it down into the hash, and the program will print the hash on the screen for you. And then usage Python crypt py file path. You got to make sure that you have your Python is installed and what version you have. Otherwise, it throws a nice big error. It's going to calculate the hash of the file. It's going to specify the output of the text image. And then it's going to create a text image with a calculated hash. Here it says the hash and the output image path, but we're actually going to be printing the hex on this from the C++ instead of the actual 256 hash, but I had to put in the 256 hash because crypto wouldn't allow me to do it any other way. So that's why that's in there, but it actually does print out the hex and not that 256 hash. Okay, let's run the program. And here's my file path. Okay, and the file that I'm running is called infected text. So the size of the file, this is what the file is in bytes. This mode here is actually the permissions of of the file of, and it gives you kind of what it is. So the mode is the permission, 6 is the owner position. So that first 6 is the owner position. The second 6 in that is the group permissions, and those are both read and write. And then 4 is the other permissions, which means any other person that is reading that only has a read only. The 100 represents the file type. The 100 indicates a regular file. So there's different types of files, but this is a regular file. Um, the the type here where it says message, this is actually refers to a multi-purpose internet mail extension. So this is an actual email that was infected. And then you have your hash here as well. And as you can see, it generated the text image, and it told you what the name of it is. And then here it created it successfully. Now, if we go and look, here's the text image. Takes it a minute to come up. And here's your hex. This is your hex file. So you can run this hex and it should pull in, if you run it through like Autopsy or any of the other ones, Cape, anything like that, it should pull in the same SHA SHA 256 hash. But this right here is your hex file. And it created that. And then you can just save this and name it whatever you want. So you could name this infected file TXT or whatever you wanted to name that, so that you knew which file it was. And then you can move on, and then you have this for further investigation. Like I said, this is a real simple program. It automates, it helps calculate your hash for you. It helps gives you the hex. It gives you the bytes or the file size, the mode, what type of document it is. And then I'm going to run this again just so that you can see. I'm going to run it a different one. Didn't have my numlock on. I'm going to run the finals so you can see what it looks like. It's a little different. And before I do that, I don't want to confuse you, so I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to move that to trash. We're going to go back here and then hit that. So as you can see, this one has different bytes. This one has different permissions. Again, it's a regular file, but the 7 means that the first 7 in that means that the owner has read, write, and execute privileges. The second 7 is the group, which also has read, write, and execute permissions. And then the 5 is the other permissions. And in this case, it's just read and execute. So that's a different type of files it has. And then this is application xpi executable. This tells you that the application ran and did an executable. Here is the SHA 256 hash. It again just called it text image PNG, and then it gave an image generated successfully. And then if we go and we look at our image, this is the hex. So it printed the hex of the document for us so that we can have further investigation if we needed to. I hope that you find this program useful, that it generates the hash and the hex for you, and that it puts it all into an image, and you don't have to um, worry about trying to figure out what the hex of the file is when it automatically prints it for you. Um, Thank you, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little presentation, and I hope you guys enjoy my little program that I had created. Thank you.